All right, so you're ready to launch a new website. That's awesome. But let's be honest, it's easy to get a little lost in all the technical jargon. Two terms you're going to hear over and over are domain name and web hosting.
And the big question we always get is, hey, if I've got one, do I really need the other one too? It's probably the most common point of confusion for anyone just starting out. So what is the difference between these two things?
Well, the simple answer, and I'll give it to you right up front, is yes. You 100% need both of them. And to really get why, we're going to use this one super simple analogy that makes everything click.
I want you to start thinking about this whole thing like you're building a piece of digital real estate. Seriously, this one idea is going to guide us through the whole explanation. And here it is. This is the core idea. Imagine you're opening a real physical shop. First, you need a plot of land to build on, right? That is your web hosting. Then, you need a unique street address so your customers can actually find you. That's your domain name. See, you can't have one without the other.
So let's dig into that first part, the address. We're going to break down what your domain actually is and, what it's doing for you.
Your domain name is just that easy-to-remember address that people pop into their web browser. Think google.com or yourcompany.com. It's your special spot on the giant map of the internet. But here's the key. It doesn't actually store anything. It's just a signpost.
But what makes it so important is the problem it solves. Because without a domain name, your visitors wouldn't be typing in a friendly name at all. Oh no, they'd have to memorize something way, way more complicated just to find your site.
And this is what they'd have to remember, an IP address. This long string of numbers is the actual address of your website on a server. Computers love it, they have no problem with numbers. But for us humans, no way. So a domain name is basically a friendly human translator for this computer code. So really, your domain does three big things. First, it's your brand online, your whole identity. Second, it just looks professional, right? It builds credibility. And most importantly, it makes your website accessible. It helps people find you and makes it easy for them to come back.
Okay, so our address is sorted out. Now let's talk about the property itself. Let's talk about web hosting. Web hosting is basically a service where you rent space on a super powerful computer called a server. This is the physical place where all your website's files actually live. Every single image, all your text, all the code, it's what keeps your site online 24/7. This is the land and building part of our analogy.
And this brings us right back to that real estate idea. If you buy a domain name but you don't have any hosting, you've literally just got a street address that points to an empty plot of land. People can find the spot, sure, but there's no building, no shop, there's just nothing there for them to see.
Now, just like in real estate, not all properties are the same. Shared hosting is kind of like renting a small shop in a big mall. It's cheap and perfect for new businesses. VPS hosting is like getting your own floor in that building. More space, more resources. And dedicated hosting? Well, that's like owning the entire building yourself. Perfect for huge websites with tons of traffic.
Okay, so we've got our address and we've got our property. But how does the internet connect the dots? How does it know that this address goes to that property? Let's just put it side by side real quick. Your domain name is all about your identity and making it easy for people to find you. It's your street address. Your web hosting is all about storage and how well your site performs. That's the actual land and building. They have totally different jobs, but they have to work together.
The bit of magic that connects these two is called the Domain Name System, or DNS for short. The best way to think of it is as the internet's giant global phone book. Its entire job is to look up the friendly domain name you type in and find the matching computer-friendly IP address where the website's files are stored.
And this whole process happens in the blink of an eye. So a visitor types in your domain, the DNS phone book instantly finds the matching IP address. The browser then makes a direct connection to your hosting server at that number, and finally, the server sends all your website files zipping back to the browser, and poof, your website appears.
So now that we get the two big pieces and how they talk to each other, let's look at the simple, practical steps to actually build your own online home.
Your blueprint is really just 2 steps. Step 1, you register a domain name that's easy to remember and really captures your brand. You're basically claiming your address. Step 2, you buy a web hosting plan that has enough power and space for what you need. That's you buying your plot of land.
Now, a lot of people make this even easier on themselves by getting their domain and hosting from the same place. It just cuts out a lot of the technical setup. For instance, a company like ours, Gravitate, can handle both the address and the property for you.
We manage that whole technical handshake between the two, so it all just works nice and simple.
So there you have it. A great domain name is the address that gets people to your door, and solid web hosting is the foundation your house is built on. Once you have both, you are ready to go. The only question left is, are you ready to build your digital real estate and claim your space on the web?